Imagine a life where your every action isn't dictated by the fear of judgment. A life where your choices come from within, not from the expectation of others. Does that sound liberating? It should, because it is. The secret to freedom is simple. Stop caring about what other people think of you. Too often, we let society's standards, opinions, and judgments decide who we are and who we become. The truth is, the moment you release yourself from the constant worry of others' perceptions, you open up a world of possibilities. You reclaim the power to be unapologetically you. It's time to stop measuring your worth against the opinions of others and start embracing your authenticity. True freedom is not about escaping the world around you. It's about liberating yourself from the invisible chains of judgment that bind you. The idea that we must live up to the expectations of others is ingrained in us from a young age. Whether it's the approval of parents, peers, or even strangers, we are taught that our value is dependent on external validation. But this mindset keeps us trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and insecurity. Think about it. How many times have you held back from pursuing something you truly wanted because you were worried about what people would think? Perhaps you silenced your voice, hid your unique talents, or made decisions based on what would be acceptable to others. This kind of living is not only exhausting, but soul-crushing. It disconnects you from your authentic self, leaving you feeling incomplete, like you're living someone else's life. When you stop caring about other people's opinions, you stop allowing them to hold power over your happiness and peace of mind. Freedom comes with the realization that you are enough as you are. You don't need anyone's approval to be worthy, valuable, or loved. Imagine the liberation in accepting yourself, flaws and all, and no longer feeling the need to seek validation from anyone outside of yourself. It's not easy, though. It takes courage to reject societal pressures and embrace your individuality. It's about learning to trust your own instincts and decisions, even when they go against the grain. This kind of self-empowerment requires you to challenge your old beliefs and replace them with the understanding that your worth is inherent, not earned or measured by anyone else's standards. The path to self-acceptance is difficult, but it's also incredibly rewarding. The more you stop caring about what others think, the more you discover who you really are. When you're constantly worried about what people think, you live in a state of fear. This fear keeps you from taking risks, trying new things, and pursuing your dreams. It creates an inner conflict that prevents you from fully embracing life. Fear of judgment is one of the most paralyzing forces in the world. It holds you back from stepping into your full potential, from becoming the person you were always meant to be. But once you break free from the need for approval, something incredible happens. You feel empowered. Your actions are no longer motivated by the fear of being judged. Instead, they come from a place of self-assurance. You make decisions based on what's best for you, not what will earn you praise or avoid criticism. And in doing so, you experience a profound sense of freedom that can't be replicated by external validation. It's essential to understand that people's opinions are not a reflection of your true worth. What others think of you is often influenced by their own fears, insecurities, and biases. The judgments they cast are not a direct representation of who you are. They're merely a projection of their own worldview. The more you let these opinions dictate your actions, the more you lose sight of your authentic self. The truth is, everyone is so wrapped up in their own lives and struggles that they rarely have the time or energy to scrutinize your every move. Yet, we let the fear of their judgment control our behavior as if their opinions have the power to shape our reality. In reality, it's only our attachment to those opinions that gives them any power over us. When you release that attachment, you free yourself from the chains that have held you captive. Then, the journey to freedom begins with one simple yet powerful step, realizing that your worth doesn't depend on anyone else's approval. For so long, we have been conditioned to believe that we must seek validation from others. But this external dependence only leaves us vulnerable to disappointment and insecurity. The key to unlocking true freedom lies in shifting your focus inward, acknowledging that your value is inherent and that no one's opinion can alter that. When you stop caring about what others think, you begin to live authentically, in alignment with your true self. And that alignment creates the kind of peace and confidence that no outside validation can provide. Think about the times when you felt the weight of others' expectations on your shoulders. Maybe it was when you were choosing a career path, a partner, or a place to live. Perhaps you sacrificed your own desires to make others happy, or because you feared rejection. These moments are common, but they are also unnecessary. You have the power to decide for yourself without the need for anyone else's input. The fear of judgment that holds you back is often a projection of your own insecurities. You fear being criticized because you're still unsure of your own worth. But when you learn to trust yourself and value your decisions, the opinions of others lose their power over you. You stop living for approval and start living for yourself. Imagine walking into a room without the worry of being judged. Imagine speaking your truth without hesitation, without wondering how others will perceive you. That's the kind of freedom that comes when you stop caring what people think. It's not about being reckless or indifferent to the feelings of others, but rather about living with integrity and authenticity. You begin to make choices based on what aligns with your values, not based on how you want to be seen. You stop seeking external validation and start creating your own sense of worth from within. And in doing so, you inspire others to do the same. Your confidence becomes contagious and you become a beacon of freedom for those around you. The fear of judgment is deeply ingrained in human nature. It's a survival mechanism that once served a purpose in our evolutionary past. But in today's world, it has become a barrier to personal growth and happiness. We fear criticism, rejection, and the loss of social status. But the truth is, these fears are mostly unfounded. People are far more concerned with their own lives than with judging yours. The opinions of others are often fleeting, and they don't define who you are. When you stop worrying about what others think, you free yourself from the need to conform to social norms and expectations. You become free to live as your true self without the constraints of society's judgment. The world opens up to you in ways you never imagined possible. We often look to others for guidance, advice, or approval, but the real guidance comes from within. No one knows you better than you know yourself. When you stop caring about what others think, you begin to listen to your own inner voice. You trust your instincts and make decisions that align with your true desires. This is where the magic happens. When you stop seeking external validation, you start living a life that is uniquely yours. A life where your decisions are driven by passion, purpose, and authenticity, not by the need to fit in or meet others' expectations. This freedom is not just about making big decisions. It's about reclaiming your life in every moment, in every choice you make. Let's face it, we all want to be accepted, to belong, to fit in. It's human nature. But what if you didn't need anyone's approval to feel complete? What if you didn't need anyone to tell you that you're doing the right thing? The truth is, when you stop caring about what people think, you no longer seek validation from the outside world. You become your own source of strength and self-worth. This shift is liberating because it allows you to live life on your own terms. You're no longer bound by the expectations of others. Instead, you create your own path and follow it with confidence. You learn to love yourself, imperfections and all. And you realize that you don't need anyone else's permission to be happy. Living authentically means embracing your true self, even if that means going against the grain or stepping outside of your comfort zone. It's about being honest with yourself and with others, regardless of how they might perceive you. The beauty of this is that once you stop caring about what others think, you begin to attract people who resonate with your authenticity. You draw in those who appreciate you for who you truly are, not for the person you pretend to be. It is your heart desiring to better yourself, for making sure you feel confident, capable of achieving your goals. And that's where the magic happens. When you let go of the need for validation, you create space for real, meaningful connections that are based on genuine love and respect. The journey to freedom is not a straight path. It's a process of self-discovery, of unlearning old habits, and of challenging the beliefs that have held you captive for so long. But the rewards are worth it. When you stop caring what people think, you start living a life that is truly your own. You begin to make choices based on your values, passions, and dreams rather than on the approval of others. You start to feel more confident, more at peace, and more in control of your life. And the best part? You inspire others to do the same. Your journey to freedom becomes a beacon of hope for those still trapped in the cycle of seeking approval.